time on this video. I just want to say thank you for joining in, guys. I don't want to waste your time. I talk really fast because time is everything. It's all we have. Energy is the number one asset, and time is how we calculate it. But energy is everything. So here we go. I love the hair, so hate on me all you want. But I want to start out by telling you why you should watch this channel. So I've sold 2,000 real estate homes. I bought 38 doors by the age of 38, went through a divorce, made a couple wrong moves, and within a year of making $1 million, I lost my money. And then I've been over 2.5 years rebuilding and holding on to my investors' money and still buying properties and growing. So with that being said, I should say I'm looking to buy properties, about 100, 200 doors at a time now. I have a couple of funds I'm setting up for larger buildings. So the reason I want to watch this is because I made a lot of mistakes in my life, but I also went from zero to hero. I had speech problems, anger issues, and built myself up. So the reason what I'm gonna be talking about on this video while I drive to my next appointment is the lessons and what I learned. So Grant Cardone, if you don't know who he is, check him out. Billionaire, real estate guy. The way I like to, sometimes when you're going through things, you tend to focus on the negative, but it's all about perspective. So if you look at perspectives, Warren Buffett, his friend, whatever that guy, his partner, I always forget his name, he said he wasn't a millionaire until he was 40. I did it by 35, liquid by 38, but broke by 39. So the reason I tell you this is because you don't know what you don't know. But here's the thing. What got me was the rates that ultimately went up 4%, and I over leveraged. Didn't know rates could go up that much. It's a long story, and one day I'll put it all on here. But for now, the point of this video is to help you exponentially grow. And what it all comes down to is your mindset. So no matter how much money I had, I could have been living in a multi-million-dollar home in my 20s, but I didn't because my mindset was still scarce. It was save, get 10 homes, become a millionaire, and then you'll be set. You don't have to worry anymore. That was my thought. But what I realized is all I had to do was switch the worry in my brain. I had to stop worrying about everything, learn to live in the moment, do your best every day. Setting goals is great, but also what if you just lived your best day every single day? Because things come up, things happen. If you focus on getting 3 things done every single day that are moving that are pushing you forward every day the most. So what do I mean by that? So a lot of time, we spend a lot of time wasting time on things that you could pay someone to do. So right now, if you're making $50 an hour, you should be working more and paying somebody to do everything for you that you can pay him to do for less than $50 an hour. You need to get out of the hourly mindset. You need to start investing in yourself, the number one asset. So I made this mind shift recently because I was dissecting it to figure out why I made the moves I made. And it was because I had a scarce mentality. I could see it in everybody else. It's real easy to see the plank in everybody else's eyes, but recently it opened up my eyes that I've had this mentality. Why wasn't I buying nice cars? Why wasn't I having fun like Chris Crone? Why wasn't I thinking of billionaire back in 2009? I just said that word about 2 years ago because my mindset was too small, and every time I thought about big, I felt like I was being selfish, greedy. Then I heard this story recently. I've heard a lot of these stories about the crab. If you don't know these, message me which story you want to hear about. There's a crab, there's the eagle story, and there's so many good stories. But this is the flea story. I've been a flea my whole life until I became an eagle, and I've been fighting the eagle's life. The eagle's life is flying high by yourself most of the time. Every once in a while, you meet up with another eagle or a baby eagle, or a better eagle, bald eagle. And most of the time, these eagles, they don't hang out together, they don't fly together, but maybe they come together and learn from each other. But what fleas do, fleas can jump 3.5 feet, but you put them in a jar with a lid on them, they'll jump until they get tired, and then you'll take the lid off and they'll never jump out of the lid again. What I thought was interesting was the fact that if the fleas have babies in the jar, after they've already been trained not to jump out of the jar from their limiting beliefs, their children will never jump out of the jar. So what if you could track your ancestors back to where there was kings and princes, and then you realize that that was your lineage, and things happen throughout history, and people got brainwashed with a poor mindset. I saw this lady, maybe I'll post this picture. I saw this lady, maybe I'll put this on my screen share. I saw this lady with thumbnail, I should say. She was a big lady just recently. She had a Coca-Cola shirt on, or a whole outfit of Coca-Cola. And all I'm thinking is she branded herself with Coca-Cola. Where did she decide it was a good idea? She loved Coca-Cola so much that she's putting on her body. And it just got me thinking, what have I been branding myself with? And I want to brand myself with a trillionaire. That because the odds of being born is 1 in 300 trillion. So just the mere fact of you swimming and beating the race out of all the other little seamen, you're 1 in 300 trillion. So you're a trillionaire born. But we've been programmed to be poor. So I'm going to start walking around talking about being a trillionaire. Trillionaire. Because I want to get comfortable with that. We're so comfortable with being broke. That's what people are. People are comfortable being broke. They feel guilty when they have nice things. I used to not like people when I was young in high school that had money and I didn't. I hated on them. Like in my mind, I just thought they were snobby. All these things that I put on them because they had it better than I had it, instead of just saying, hey, maybe I could become that one day. Maybe I could hang out with those people. No, but I didn't have enough confidence in myself, and I didn't love myself. So I'm saying all this, guys, because I know there's people out there that are, majority of people were born poor, which is probably the best way you could be born. Because, again, you're a trillionaire born. But if you're born around money, if you're raised right, you'll have better opportunities, you'll become better, you'll do better. But I used to think that you were better off being born poor. It's a challenging statement that I have, because most extremely successful people had a lot of trauma in their childhood. And then you hear cases of people that are born into wealth. They get spoiled and do drugs and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, any of it could happen to any of you, wherever you are in your life, so it doesn't matter. If you take the good, this is my theory, if you take the good out of whatever situation you have and focus on the good, you'll get more good. If you focus on the bad, you get more bad. So my kids, I truly believe, will be millionaires by the time they're 18 years, and billionaires by the time they're 30, and trillionaires by the time they're 40 or 50. And I'm installing that in them. Now, some people are going to say, Marshall, all you talk is money. Money. It's not money. All you talk is mindset. Mindset is everything. I track it with money, but at the end of the day, you can take all the money from the wealthiest people in the world and spread it out evenly between everybody, and 20% will have 80% of the money. So it's not about money. It's about living an abundant life. It's about using your imagination and dreaming about the life that you want. And I hit that life. I had everything I wanted at 38, and I lost by 39. And what it taught me was all I lost was a lot of people in my life and the comfort. I lost the comfort of having money in my bank, but I wasn't comfortable with it, to be honest. But it brought comfort for a moment, and then the fear caused me to push until it went away. So they say, a lot of people don't want to leverage because you hear about stories about people over leveraging. However, there is millions of people. The number one place a millionaire comes from is real estate. So 18,000 millionaires in the world, I believe, and maybe it's a bigger number. That seems pretty small. But anyways, 90% of those are coming from real estate. So if you choose the right industry, now I'm in real estate and still and mentorship. What's the difference between a coach and a mentor? Coach teaches what they've never done, and a mentor teaches what they've done. So I'll teach you what I've done and how to do it better. And currently I'm 42 years old. I should be worth at least $3 million, but I'm not because I made a couple mistakes, but it's going to make me a millionaire. So for all the people that have it easier and they're making money and they're living the good life, eventually they'll get tested. We all get tested at different levels. So just be ready for the test, boys and girls. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're a billionaire, trillionaire, there's always going to be growing pains. So remember that. Join, subscribe if you guys would like to learn more, and follow me and see me driving in a Rolls Royce from a Prius to a Rolls Royce. I had a Tesla, paid cash for it. Then I sold it, put it in Bitcoin, and I felt an attachment issue with a car, and I thought it was an issue, but it wasn't an issue. I felt good when I drove nice things. So what if you drive nice things, live in nice things, and you feel good? You will attract more good into your life. But my poor mindset ended up thinking that I should be efficient and I should be moderate and I should be minimalist, which I also agree with some of that. But at the end of the day, here's my theory. Get as rich as you possibly can, helping and serving people to become rich as well. And that'll help everybody, and everybody will grow. It's a win-win. And it's not about the money. If you haven't heard this yet, it's not just about the money. Money gives you options. It's a tool. So if you want